Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining me as I am finally caught up real time with our girl, Amber. Today, we're gonna skip ever frolicking forward in the loving universe we call Girl World. Keemstar versus Zachary Michael, How Beck Proposed in Growing Up in Poverty. Let's talk episode 9.
Welcome to another Let's Talk. I was crying a little bit before this video, so that's why I look the way I do, but I'm okay. So let's just hop right into it with sweet
Just
and
another
sour.
sympathy grab, okay?
KCHI Juarez said, they didn't silence you. You embarrassed them with the engagement story. I'd be mad too if I was them. So that
True.
engagement story was as much theirs as it was mine, and I'm allowed to share that. If you're embarrassed with the way that you
And you only shared it because you wanted to embarrass them. That's the point they're making.
proposed, maybe you shouldn't have proposed that way. I stand by what I said. It was a weird way.
Maybe you should have not bought your own engagement rings. Did you ever think of that? Because that's more embarrassing.
To propose. If you guys don't know, Beck proposed on a little vibrator after we hadn't had sex for literally a few years. And they asked me, will you have sex with me for the rest of my life? And I just thought that was kind of insensitive. It didn't feel personal and it just felt off to me. And I have a right to share that.
Well, it didn't seem like they really wanted to do it in the first place, and you were pressuring them. So no wonder it wasn't what you expected.
And that's like the only story that I've shared when I have hundreds more, but I choose not to. Ranch Girly 33 said, Amberlynn, look at all the positivity in the chat. The change is coming. So I don't know. I've only seen the few comments that I screenshotted here, but if there is more positivity, I am happy to see it. Thank you guys. Sailor Mercury 1990 said, yep, I keep saying, why does VM sound like the same people every damn week? So I'm assuming you're talking about the voice messages. I have not done a single repeat. Every single voice message I have done has been from a different person. Chop Suey 2716 said, why she keeps saying she had a CT scan. She was too fat years ago and she didn't get it. She's heavier than before, but willy-nilly getting scans now.
True, and I also have questioned this exact thing.
Well, for one, I'm not heavier now. 2, I'm saying that I got a CT scan because I did. 3, I was only too big for a CT scan one time, and that was during a time when I was in a rural area. Since then, I've gotten multiple CT scans due to my cancer.
And for you to say you're not as big, it's like a 50-pound difference from your highest weight. So what are you talking about?
Because I was in a bigger city. CT scans have weight limits and they're all different. Large populated places have CT scans that do allow bigger bodies. So I hope this helps. All right, now it is time for Sippin' Community. What do you consider
as important as it is for her to verify whether or not her cancer's come back? She maybe would have traveled to a larger hospital, but she'll travel, 2 hours away to get Cheesecake Factory, but God forbid she does anything for her actual health.
working on your relationship with food? What have you done to improve it? So I'm just gonna list off a few things. I'm no longer like labeling foods good or bad. Yes, I'm fully aware that there are foods that are better for you and I want to nourish myself with those, but labeling certain foods as bad is triggering as hell for me. I'm trying to figure out like, what are my emotional triggers? What are my mental triggers? Like, what are my environmental triggers and things like that, and then finding coping mechanisms.
Because, she's a professional and she can do all this on her own. I think I said it in the last video. All this shit is just a way for her to maintain control, and it's obviously not working. So go into inpatient. This is all just fucking fodder.
Mechanisms for those triggers. I'm keeping a food journal. This is building lots of awareness for me. I'm slowing down my eating and I'm trying not to eat so much while watching something because I realize I eat a lot faster while I'm like watching a YouTube video.
She has said this exact shit, and I believe it was in the back era. So we see where we are now. You're so self-aware.
I'm just trying to be more focused on my food. I am literally discarding the all or nothing approach because that has never worked for me in the past. Because when I do the all or nothing approach, if I make one small, tiny, like quote unquote bad decision, or I'm taking away the bad, but in the past, if I would have made that bad decision, I would have just let loose for the full day. But instead, I make that quote unquote bad decision and I just go on. I'm connecting my eating to self-worth. Like, so many people tell me, Amberlynn, you're so fat, you don't need to eat for a year. Like, I don't believe that. I'm just trying to really, truly take away all of this, like, nonsense, this noise that I only deserve food if I'm skinny. I try not to watch any eating content, and if I do, I make sure they're eating something healthy. Like, have you guys heard of the Tiffany plate? That's that plate that I eat with all the veggies and the cottage cheese and the chicken sausage. Like, if I was to watch eating content, I make sure to only watch ones that are healthy because I know
You're stupid. I don't care what she says. Any type of eating content is going to trigger you. I don't care if it's healthy or not.
notice that like the unhealthy lack of nourishing foods does trigger me. I'm trying to pay more attention to my hunger, fullness cues. I feel like the list can literally go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm really working on it. It's free
And yet you still haven't lost a single pound. In fact, you've gained weight. So I can see it's working really well for you. Good job, Amber. Just keep wasting time.
reign, not free range. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I say free range, but thank you for letting me know. I'm probably gonna forget if we're being honest. I'm so worried about my health. At Denny's after the ER, give me that girly pop grand slam. So I don't know if you guys know this, but most restaurants do have healthier options. And that includes Denny's. And again, I got a salad. Why don't you ever do a
Okay, but yet you didn't show the salad. And I 100% believe had you done that, you would have shown it because you knew damn well the reaction you were going to get.
low sodium diet? You know what's really funny about this question? When I got my lab results, my sodium was low. My sodium was low. It was in the normal range, but it was low on the normal range. And I'm telling you, I'm probably as shocked as y'all. Keemstar cussed you out just like Zach did, but you loved when Keemstar did it. Make it make sense. Keemstar is a troll. He's literally like that towards everyone.
Because she thinks Keemstar wants her. That's why. She's just like, oh, Keem, I know you want me. Oh, I'm a...
Like, if you've watched his live streams, he's like that even towards the people that he loves the most. I'm not saying that he loves me. I'm not saying that we're friends because we're definitely not. But even me, like me and my closest friends, we call each other hoe, hooker, like bitch, like what's up, bitch? Like literally, like it's about the intent. Like it's way different when it's a joke versus like how Zach did it. Like that was out of anger. Like remember, intent matters, just like in most things.
Because Zachary Michael actually had a lot more reason to cuss you out.
How was a guy watching your TikTok at Denny's? So it's not that it was a coincidence that the guy was watching my TikTok at Denny's and I heard him do it in the sense of like, oh, it's a coincidence. Like he's just sitting there watching my TikTok and then there I am, I pop up. It's the fact that he recognized me first, put the TikTok on, showed his friend, and he was like, no, it really.
Yeah, but you tried to make it seem like they were just watching you and then you noticed. So quit trying to act like that's not what you were saying. Because I even pointed out in the video where she talks about that. It was obviously not a coincidence. They were doing it purposeful to either get your attention or they saw you and were like, oh my fucking God. But she tried to play it like, oh my God, these people were like, uh, Amber, is that really you? Like, give me a break.
Is her. It's not that he was watching it first. Trust me, this happens a lot where someone will recognize me. They'll be looking, they'll either go to my Instagram or my TikTok and I'll hear them. My mom will hear them. Like when I got my other side of my nose pierced, my mom was whispering to me, she's like, those people recognize you. And it was just like a cluster of people. And I didn't even notice. Like we were in the piercing shop and she was like, watch, watch. And then I caught them like looking and they were like whispering, yeah, it is her. But I was so nervous to get the other side of my nostril pierced that I didn't even notice. But like this has been happening forever. Like a lot of the time, like people do come up to me, but there are a lot of the time that they don't. And then later I'll get a message on Instagram where they're like, oh, I saw you on so-and-so. I was too shy to come up to you. I genuinely think I'm just recognized a lot because there's also a lot of people who cover me. All right, you guys, now it is time for the interview.
She's just so famous.
So where do you think the line is between weight being due to genetics versus being due to environmental factors or personal choice and lifestyle?
I don't think there really is a line because if it is due to genetics, then that's pretty black and white. I know for me, it's due to genetics. My grandma on my dad's side used to be 600 pounds.
I disagree. I'm not a medical professional, but was she predisposed to being heavier? Absolutely. But I feel like the majority of her issue is because of the childhood trauma that was never properly treated. And so she basically turned to food. So, yes, absolutely. was she genetically predisposed to being heavier, but that doesn't mean that she had no choice but to be fat.
But then she actually got the weight loss surgery. So I only knew her as a woman who was like 100 and something pounds. She's no longer with us. Like, that woman was my heart and soul. I miss her so much every single day. But I also know that it's environmental because of the things that I went through, all of the trauma. I turned to food. So I have a lot of medical and I have a lot of environmental, just things like working against me. Like when I did the ACE test, I scored 9 out of.
And yet you do nothing but feed into it because now you're an adult. And as we've already stated, it's now up to you to change those behaviors, but you don't.
10. Now that we're here, I actually want to share with you guys what 9 I have because I know so many people are like, what? So these questions are pretty black and white. Like, there's no even having to think of them. It's either it did happen or it didn't. I actually think that these questions might even be too triggering for some people. So I've decided I am not going to share them.
Hi, Amber.
So why did you even bring it up and say that you were going to? Like, you could have edited all that out, but of course, she doesn't.
I watched Destiny and Becky's video about you.
Okay.
And something that struck me as odd was the constant glazing everyone was doing for them. I felt that there was not a lot of accountability on Destiny/Becky's end.
Okay.
While I believe Becky may not remember everything clearly, it felt like she kind of began to use that as a crutch. To not take accountability or answer difficult questions, like questions about Twinkie.
Okay.
Do you think that the fans were sort of ready to take anything Destiny and Becky said in order to run with it?
I have less sympathy for Destiny. Beck was a victim. I mean, they're all victims of Amber, but Beck was 100% a victim of a narcissist, in my opinion. So I'm not sure what this person's even trying to get to.
And paint you as the villain. And how do you navigate that? How do you navigate the hate?
Oh, they were willing to hear anything said about me and believe it. Beck doesn't have to take accountability. Destiny doesn't have to take accountability. They will literally believe anything that they say. Beck doesn't remember.
Because you were an abuser, and we literally watched it all take place. Like, does she not understand that we can see for ourselves? Like, she was the one that put herself on the internet. She was the one that decided to share these relationships. And now people are allowed to form their own opinion of what happened and how you treated these people. So, of course, so, yeah, they're just wanting to believe anything about me. No, we believe what we could see. And it was very obvious that you were abusive to Beck.
A lot, and they lied a lot, and they exaggerated a lot. Like, literally, they lied about things that, like, there's proof of in vlogs, but nobody cares because they just want the tea about me. How have I navigated that? Well, I don't really know. I've
Not
popped
well.
off, like, a medium amount, definitely in live streams. But, like, I'm telling you, I could, like, pop off at a level that would probably shock a lot of people, but I'm not going to do that.
No, it wouldn't, because we know you're abusive. Like, she thinks that she has disguised herself so well. You really haven't.
I'm not gonna lower myself to that level, but at the level that I did pop off, it's just like, because it's too much. Like, why lie? Why share personal details? Like, it's just heavy. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. Any person on this planet, if they
You're a verified liar, so you calling someone else a liar means nothing.
were experiencing what I have been experiencing, they would probably pop off themselves or they would disappear from the internet. Hint, hint. They will stay glazed, and I really just don't care.
Hey Amberlynn, me and my girlfriend have watched you for years now and have loved watching your journey. My question to you is, how do you handle setbacks without getting discouraged?
Ooh, I feel like I do get discouraged a lot, but somehow I just pick myself back up.
Hello, I'm doing this while I'm doing my skincare. My first question is, so we saw you get a Fitbit, and I mean, maybe I just haven't paid close attention, but I don't know where the Fitbit went, because I'm like, that Fitbits aren't cheap. And then also, I felt like you've had an Apple Watch before, and I'm like, where did that go? Why get a Fitbit when you can, use your Apple Watch, I guess? I don't know. And I'm gonna send my second question in another thing. Hold on.
Okay, so they did send me a second question, as they said, but let me answer that real quick. So the Fitbit was broke. Remember when I showed you guys, like, it went through the ringer to get to me? It was broke. Like, the front of the screen cracked. Couldn't even turn on. I was like, is the universe telling me that, like, I don't need a Fitbit? As for the Apple Watch, oh, she been lost. She been lost. I don't even think she made it to Oklahoma. All right, let's do the next question.
My second question is, you've cycled through a lot of diets.
Yes.
You'll count calories until it triggers you, then you'll eat intuitively until you gain too much weight and realize you don't have, that control yet, and then you'll try Ozempic till your gallbladder hurts and you...
This sounds very much like a yo-yo dieter, very common, but yes, I do cycle.
And she's been on this cycle since the dawn of her YouTube career, so.
Try to do
I hope that you guys can hear them, by the way.
keto, but then your gallbladder hurts, but it helps your lipedema. So it's just, I don't know. I want to ask, what do you think what's it gonna take? Like, what's gonna work? And
Inpatient treatment or her being put in a coma.
I don't know yet.
I was just curious because it's like, I mean, I'm not a fan, but I have, like, I've followed your journey since, like, 2018. And I'm gonna be honest, it is a little maddening.
You're watching it. I'm living it. Like, it is maddening. I literally hate this for the both of us.
Let me wash my hands real quick.
Okay.
So that's just my main question.
I love how unbothered this person is. They're just going about their day like...
Question is, what's it gonna take? And I'm trying not to be rude, but I can come off
You're
really
not.
blunt, so I apologize.
a medical emergency, like a real, true medical emergency. And even then, I mean, she went through cancer and we see where she's at. So what will it take? Her being put into a coma.
For that.
No, you're good.
But yeah, those are my main questions.
Honestly, I think it's me working on my relationship with food, because before I never worried so much about that. It was more so like, oh, diet culture, ooh, let's lose weight. Now it's like, girl, like, let's work on that relationship with food. That's going to heal the way that you think of food.
Whoever taught her that phrasing, my relationship with food, needs to be put in the corner.
It's a lot. Okay, so they sent another one, so let's listen.
Also, I was not going to send a third message, but your egg intolerance actually is probably a side effect from your gallbladder, because the egg yolk is really fatty. And when I had my gallbladder, that was a huge trigger for me, was eggs. And I still can't eat them because it reminds me of how sick I used to get when I had a gallbladder. So yeah, fun fact, it's probably because of your gallbladder.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but no, it's not because of my gallbladder. I've actually had it since I was just a wee little girl, and my mom also suffers with the same thing. But thank you
And because Amber is a medical professional and she knows better than everyone, so you're welcome.
for the questions.
Hi, Amber. I just want to say that me and my sister love you. We always watch you together. But I just have two quick questions to ask. One, what, like, catchphrase, like, other than, like, I know you have, like, hectic on one. Like, what catchphrase would you put on your, like, next, like, merch drop if you're gonna have one?
Genuinely?
And then also my other question is, like, what was, like, your, like, favorite diet? Like, not, like, necessarily, like, how well it worked, but, like, the one that you enjoyed most. Like, what diet did you, like, enjoy, I guess, the most
Optivia?
that you were on? Thank you, Queen. I love you.
I love you too. Why am I so giggly? I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what catchphrase I would put on one next. Like, I was making so much merch, but then things happened and I had to stop. There was a lot of catchphrases, a lot of inside jokes. You guys would have literally loved it. I don't know if that's something I'll go back to or not, but right now the subject is a little touchy. But regarding favorite diet, Jenny Craig. Like, I don't know what it is, but definitely favorite.
Hi, Amber.
Is she saying the subject is touchy because it has something to do with Emily? I'm
a huge fan of you and your channel. My question for you is, if you could start your YouTube career from scratch but keep all your knowledge of how to be a YouTuber, would you do anything differently? Would you change the way you did your journey? Let us know. Love you.
No, because if she had done it differently, she wouldn't have the audience that she does. People watch her because she's a train wreck, so that's as simple as that.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I love you too.
Hi, Amberlynn. Long time viewer, first time questioner. I've always wanted to know, when will you ever like release any information on your foster journey and what had happened to you during that time?
I feel like she's talked about her foster journey a lot. But, I mean, is this person just asking for a trauma dump? I mean, what is it that you want to know?
I know that it's a very touchy subject, but it's just something that I've always found interesting because everybody has a different kind of story. Yeah. And even just releasing some information about it would just be something I'd want to hear in like a vlog or a let's talk video.
So that subject is very touchy for me, for sure. And I think that's the reason why it's hard, because it's like there's so much that happened, obviously. Whether that was before foster care, during, or after, like there's a lot.
Obviously, I'm just speculating here, but I feel like part of the reason that she doesn't want to divulge stuff, obviously, it's because some of it is very painful for her. But I think, too, that she wasn't always the best. I hate talking this way about a child, but it is Amberlynn. I think she was a very difficult child, and rightly so. She had been through a lot, but I don't know that some of the stories would portray her in the most positive light. And that's sad to say. I mean, we're talking about a kid, but we know how Amberlynn is, and we know that she never wants to portray herself in a negative way. So I'm just wondering, is she, afraid of how she's going to spin these stories and then maybe potentially being called out by the people that were there? Or she just straight up doesn't want to make herself look bad? I don't know. There's obviously a lot of parts to it, but I feel like that's one of the pieces.
And I know that there are so many people who are watching me who literally don't believe a word I say. Foster care,
True,
and the things around it, I do not want any of that to be questioned, because that is the shit that gave me so much fucking trauma. Like, that is my real life, true, authentic story. And for that to be like tainted in that way, which, bro, like, it can't even be more tainted than it already is, because obviously I have a lot of trauma, but it's just like for people to touch it in like a vile way instead of like a way that comes from like concern and gentleness. Like, I don't know, it's just hard for me. But I am an open book, and I am always open to answering any questions about foster care. It's just hard for me to sit down and make a full-fledged story time. It would probably be 10 hours long. I'd probably forget a lot of things. I'd be editing it back, probably thinking, damn, I should have said that, or I should have, it's just a lot. But
that may be one of the most emotionally mature things I've ever heard her say. If it's true what she's saying, that this is obviously a very painful part of her life, and she doesn't want the criticism of it. And I can understand that. That to me is probably one of the realest things she's ever said, because it is the internet. And I think even now she is aware enough to know the type of audience that she has fostered. And there are going to be a lot of people that will twist and turn anything she says. So I can 100% understand why she is saying that. And I'm actually surprised that she is showing that much insight, like accurate insight on the topic. So, wow. Color me surprised.
I am always willing to answer things.
Hi, Amberlynn. First, I want to say that having your videos playing in the background has gotten me through both my bachelor's degree and now my master's degree.
Oh my gosh, congrats.
We gotta balance the chaos with some more chaos.
Yes.
So my question is, coming from a place of
If I was Amber right now, I'd be thinking, wow, you accomplished so much, and here I am in the same stunted reality that I was in 10 years ago.
someone who also grew up in poverty and struggles with the scarcity mindset.
Yes.
I want to ask, how do you plan on dealing with this in the long term?
You hear that, Amber? Someone of similar background that didn't make a complete dumpster fire of their life. So it is possible.
I know that I feel like once I have money, I need to spend it, or even once I have food, I need to eat it because I feel like I might never have it again. I still go back to that place in my mind. And, you know, in the context of weight loss, which is also something I have struggled with, I think that the scarcity mindset gets in our way because in our search for balance, we will create an artificial scarcity that our mind just instinctually wants us to alleviate. And so with that said, do you ever think that you'll get over the scarcity mindset? Is there something that you're doing or can see yourself doing to interrupt these thought patterns? Because it can be done, and I know that it can be done by doing some work with making yourself feel more secure in your situation. And yeah, I don't know. This is long, but I hope that this question finds you well. And happy summer. Bye.
Aw, thank you. I literally loved that voicemail. Thank you. Voicemail. That's not a voicemail. Voice message. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I genuinely loved that. I do have that mindset. I noticed it more and more. Like, more money that I made on YouTube, the more I would spend it. Like, I used to buy so much clothes from Torrid because I grew up with none.
Thousands of stickers, those stupid little things that people put on Crocs that she didn't even own a pair of Crocs, journals. We know. You bought in excess and then made Beck play choosy. We know.
Like, when I lived with my parents, I had like one pair of pants, one sweater. Then I went into a children's shelter where you're sharing clothes with everybody. Like, there's like a special closet that you go in, and like, I had nothing. And then even through foster homes, like, I would get a couple outfits, but then I would transfer into a different foster home and then I would lose those clothes. It's like, where the hell did they go? I don't understand. And then when I was living with my parents, it's like, one day we wouldn't really have much food. The next day my dad would go out and buy a bunch of like dollar cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and then I would eat it fast and a lot. And like, you know, we got free food from the food bank. That's a random fact. Like, it would get delivered to us every Saturday. We had nothing. And now that I have this money, it's like I catch myself buying too much of something. And a lot of people's like, Amberlynn's a hoarder. It's like, no, I'm not a hoarder. My brain does not work.
You can still be a hoarder. And a lot of hoarders have similar backgrounds where they had nothing or they had everything taken from them. So just because you don't think you're a hoarder, and I'm not saying she is, doesn't mean you can't have a hoarder mindset. Like, quit acting like you're better than that.
Accordingly. And I don't really 100% know how to get out of it. I mean, I will say I have definitely improved. I'm not sitting here buying hordes of clothing anymore. Like, I'll buy
because you can't afford to.
Torrid if they like drop something that's like super cute in my style. I still buy like Legos and stuff because that's my hobby, and literally my head is full of chaos and war and depression and sadness, and the minute I start doing a Lego, all of that just silences. So it's like I am trying to spend money on things that actually genuinely.
Imagine if she could like put that energy into moving her body. A lot of people find the same solace and relaxation in exercising. I'm not hating on Legos because I think that's a great hobby. I think it's super cute, but it's not helping someone that's 500 pounds.
I feel like I need or like want, instead of like being in that mindset. All right, you guys, now it is time for tea or tail. Amberlynn is dumb for not reading her oracle cards in the right order. So oracle cards are super flexible. If you're doing like a more structured reading, like past, present, future, then yeah, you're probably going to want to read left to right. But I don't really do it that way.
No
like,
one
oracle
cares.
is super intuitive. So I just read them with like the energy and the message that is trying to come through. And sometimes that can be jumping around with the card. Sometimes the middle card is a bridge to the first one and the second one. They're all tied together some way. There's no wrong way of reading oracle as long as the reading and the interpretation feels authentic and meaningful. Amberlynn only showers and cleans in her vlogs to prove she can. It is so crazy to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it is performative. And I'm not saying she's only doing these things for her vlogs, but she's 100% showing those times in her vlogs to prove a point.
so wild to me that people are taking like everyday normal moments in someone's life and like creating an agenda behind it. Like literally over analyzing everything.
Yeah, because it's stupid for you to film yourself talking while cleaning your fucking toilet.
To the last detail. I do a lot of things that I don't vlog. I rarely ever show myself cleaning or showering, and those are things that I do on a day-to-day basis. And then it's like when I do show it, people make some conspiracy about it. It's so weird. Here's a little secret for you guys. I do not live life for my vlog. I simply just vlog my life. And sometimes that's gonna
Wow, that was so profound. Thank you, Amber.
be me showing you the bland, like the bland of the bland. Like, yo, just showered, how you doing? Like every vlogger that I watch talks about showering, talks about cleaning, but when Amberlynn does it, it's a whole like conspiracy and there's some sort of agenda behind it.
I'm gonna guess those vloggers, though, aren't receiving hundreds of comments from their audience about how they look unshowered and how they don't clean. Because it's obvious that they're clean and they shower. So it's not really, you're not making the point that you think you are.
And that's just like not the case. Cleaning and showering, it's nothing special. Every single person on this planet should be doing that. Amberlynn did the
True, but yet it's consistently throughout your life where you haven't cleaned and you refuse to shower. So we understand that that's a basic human necessity. You're the one that seems to have a problem comprehending that.
right thing by going to the hospital. I got this so much in my Instagram DMs, and I have to agree with you guys. But I also noticed there was a large fraction of people that were like, bro, like that was so dumb. Like you should not be worried about chest pain. You should not be worried about an elevated D-dimer. Listen, I want to make something very clear, and it's probably obvious.
Shut up. You know, I can at least understand why the first visit she went to the hospital. Because someone her size having an unknown pain in your body, I can understand why that's scary. But the second time you went, after you were already cleared at the hospital the first time and they told you just to follow up your primary, that was ridiculous.
I have really bad health anxiety. It's literally the type of anxiety, like most anxieties, like all anxieties, where you cannot control it. And even being rational during those times is almost impossible. Like while it's happening, you even wonder, am I being rational? Should I be worried about this? Should I have anxiety? Should I be scared? Should I be seen? Like it's just constant in your brain. But after being diagnosed with cancer and after everything that like surrounded that, if there is something health related wrong with me, I want it to be fixed. Like
The fact that she's bringing up her cancer right here is she's something else. Yeah, after having cancer and you're still here in the same fucking boat that you were when you were diagnosed, you've done nothing to improve your health. So just shut up.
if something is wrong, I need to figure it out. Like a year ago, I was having like a few symptoms and I was an advocate for myself. And it turns out I had a 6mm kidney stone. I probably still have it because there's nothing you can really do about it because it's literally in my kidney. It's not traveling yet. Sometimes your symptoms are nothing, but sometimes they are something. And
I 100% agree with advocating yourself because, especially in America, the United States, the healthcare system is really flawed. But she goes into a doctor's appointment thinking that she knows better than the doctor. So just shut up, Amber. God, she's just insufferable.
I'm not invincible. Scary things can happen. I'd rather care about myself just enough than not care about myself at all. And I'm just not going to be sorry for that. All right, you guys, it is time for bad choices. And look, this is how many we've done. I keep my pile over here. That is how many we've done during the series. Like, can you believe it? I don't know. One.
She just loves talking about herself.
I try to like get random 3, 4, 5. Okay. Make sure they're all in the right way here. Alrighty, here we go. Have you ever had sex at work? No? Have you ever lied about your weight?
I mean, my God, never mind.
Your driver's license? No. During sex,
What? Well, no shit. She's never had a driver's license.
have you ever tried to finger someone's ass without their permission? No. What the hell? Would you marry
That's kind of a creepy question, honestly. Like, that would be assault.
a billionaire even if it meant you could never see your family again? It depends. Like,
Absolutely. 100%. She'd be like, sayonara, suckers. I'm gonna hire my own butlers. I don't fucking need your asses anymore.
am I still able to talk to them? Because there has been obviously multiple times that I've lived in a different state. I didn't see my family, but I talk to them daily. If I'm allowed to talk to them, then yeah, because love is love, but I'm not marrying them just for the money. See, this question's weird. I would never marry someone just for money. I would never not see my family just for money. But if I found love and this person happened to be a billionaire, then yeah, but only if I can talk to them, FaceTime them, message them, and they're still in my day-to-day life. Have you ever pretended to be asleep while someone was having sex in the same room? Oh, I've been a teenager once, and I'm telling you, my friends were hecticana. That is all I'm gonna say about that. Wow, at the beginning of this video, I felt so sad. Like, you guys saw it. Like, I cried before this video.
We know. You were putting it on quite thick. Hey guys, I just got done crying.
I just have a lot going on, okay? I cannot wait to start my medicine tomorrow. And I know it takes like 5 to 6 weeks to start working. But girl, it's gonna be in my body. It's gonna be doing its thing. It's gonna be trying to work, And I just feel really hopeful. Positive changes are a coming. But anyways, I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. And thank you guys so much for just cheering me up a little bit. And I'll see you guys in my next one.
My God. What can you even say at this point? This girl she knows how to waste time. I'll give her that. So glad I'm caught up now, real time with our Ambi. And I thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.